The Avatar The Last Airbender live-action Netflix show definitely stirred up some mixed feelings from longtime fans. Most people, myself included, didn't really want a live-action version, but when money talks, it usually speaks louder than the fans asking for something new. Now I'll admit, it's not that bad. There are some creative choices that I actually think worked pretty well. But today's video isn't about all of that. After my full rewatch, I'll cover the entire series and where I think it's heading. Today though, we're talking about one specific decision that ruined one of the most fun episodes from the original series, The Cave of Two Lovers. Welcome back to The Casual TV. If you love Avatar, make sure you like and subscribe, and let's get right into the video. In episode 4 of the live action called Into the Dark, Aang is being kept hostage by Bumi, which is another problem in itself, but that's a story for another day. Meanwhile, Katara and Sokka are trying to help Aang escape. Teo and the Mechanists tell them about a secret tunnel that leads to the king's palace. While leading up to the tunnels, they meet Chong and his crew of travelers, and they say this.
You should probably see this. It's a tale of two lovers.
Just in case anyone wasn't sure this was supposed to be the secret tunnel episode. To be fair though, the tunnels are outside of Oma and Shu in the original show, so I can see why they made this connection, since they're probably not coming back here in season 2. But here's the first big red flag. Aang isn't even part of the Cave of Two Lovers storyline this time. That's already a huge change from the original, and it only gets weirder from there. Sokka and Katara make their way through the tunnels, and at first, it looks like the live action is staying close to the source material. The lights are going out, the crystals show up, and they show the way out, right? Except the crystals aren't the way out. The way out of the tunnels is everybody's second choice, was showing love in front of the Badger Moles. Yep, totally my second guess. Sokka and Katara hold hands in front of the Badger Moles, and that's apparently enough for the creatures to guide them out and help them stop Bumi from, trying to off himself. Yeah, this 20 minutes is kind of crazy. In the original show, Aang and Katara followed the crystals to escape, while Sokka and Chong's group used the Badger Moles. Both routes existed, but combining them like that just didn't work for me. It felt like a half-hearted attempt to be a little bit different while still checking off the fan service box. Maybe that's just me though. Let me know in the comments how you felt about the live-action take on this scene. But how is it ruining this portion of the show? The Cave of Two Lovers is what I like to call a table setter episode. It's a real takeoff point for Aang and Katara's relationship in the original show. At first, it seems like Aang is the only one showing affection, but this episode is the first real hint that Katara might have feelings for him too. That's a big deal, because later, Aang literally chooses his love for Katara over unlocking the full Avatar state when he meets Guru Patik. A very big moment in Aang's character development. So by removing this storyline, or changing it this much, it honestly feels like the Netflix version is tossing the Katang romance out the window. And let's not overlook how fun the original episode was. The songs from Chong and his crew are iconic. They're still part of the Avatar culture today. In the live action, they kind of toss in a reference in the background, but it doesn't hit the same. Sokka's interaction with the group throughout their journey is hilarious. Whether it's the torches moment.
Chong, how long do those torches last?
About 2 hours each.
And we have 5 torches, so that's 10 hours.
It doesn't work like that if they're all lit at the same time.
Or at the very end when Sokka has had enough of their stupidity.
Nobody react to what I'm about to tell you. I think that kid might be the Avatar.
The whole episode is lighthearted, funny, and weirdly heartfelt all at once. And I get that the Netflix wants to take things in a darker route, more mature direction, but this one just missed the mark. And beyond the main story, changing this episode affects other moments later in the series too. For example, Appa refusing to go underground during the library episode makes less sense now, since that fear originally came from what happened here in the Cave of Two Lovers episode. It's a small detail, but those little callbacks matter. In that same breath, during the Southern Raiders episode, they have to split up once more because Appa doesn't want to go underground, so Appa's character development is getting the short end of the stick. Now I get it, it's probably not realistic for Netflix to dedicate an entire episode to the Cave of Two Lovers and risk blowing their $15 million per episode budget. But here's how I would do it. It could have been a perfect intro to season 2. The gang's already traveling towards the Earth Kingdom, just keeping the story simple. Sokka gets split from Aang and Katara and Aang share their kiss. I mean, they totally kiss. I've seen some people say that they did not, but they totally did. And from there, the group makes their way to Toph's Town to lead right into the Blind Bandit. That kills 2 birds with 1 stone. Since Netflix has already been merging episodes together anyway, we get 2 of the best early Book 2 episodes back to back, and keep the emotional setup for Aang and Katara's relationship intact. Another option, replace the Serpent's Pass episode with the Cave of Two Lovers on the way to Ba Sing Se. Toph would have to be involved with this one, which would be a little bit tricky to get around the labyrinth because she is an earthbender, but I still think they could get separated and lost by being chased by those bats to get Aang and Katara alone. Or maybe even weave it into the chase. While Azula, May, and Ty Lee are hunting them down, the gang could duck into the caves to escape. Azula and them don't follow them in, but wait for them on the other side in the abandoned city. There are so many creative ways they could have kept the heart of this episode alive. It feels like they thought their hands were tied because of the Oma and Shu setting, but really, they could have moved some things around a little bit and still delivered the same charm. So overall, I don't think the Cave of Two Lovers needed to be cut or completely reworked. It just needed a little bit of creativity to make it fit. There were plenty of ways to adapt it without losing what made it special in the first place. The humor, the music, the charm, and that first spark between Aang and Katara that shaped so much of the story later on. At the end of the day, it's the small details like this that made Avatar The Last Airbender so timeless. And when those moments got lost in translation, even with all the budget and fancy visuals in the world, it's hard to capture that same magic. But that's just my take. What do you think about the Netflix's version of the Cave of Two Lovers? Did you like the change, or do you wish they stuck closer to the source material? Drop your thoughts down in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you don't miss my full breakdown on the Netflix Avatar series coming soon. Thanks for watching, and as always, I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.